Living Stone
Radio. Hey guys, this is David with Living Stone Radio, and we are here with Decyfer Down.
Feel the pressure, let it go. Feel the pressure, let it go. You try to buy some time, can read the signs or the reasons why. Every single time.
How did the name Decyfer Down come about? How did you guys come up with that?
It means to interpret something of worth. It came obviously from the dictionary when we're looking at different names, and Chris was looking through the dictionary and saw it through there, and it just pretty much told what our vision was and what we kind of wanted to do with the band, you know, to interpret what God's done in our lives. So.
We started this band about 10 years ago, but before that, you know, me personally, I grew up in church. Around 12 years old, I got into just wrong crowds, hanging out, and got into drugs and things like that, and pretty much destroyed myself for the next, you know, 7 years, or more than that actually, about 10 years, and you know, in and out of rehabs and jails, and just ended up in a horrible place, man. Like extremely addicted to cocaine, and totally trashed my family relationships, you know, with my parents and anybody that really cared about me. I kind of took advantage of them, you know. And you know, what we're doing now is just a huge statement to God's grace, man, in my life. I mean, because I never thought that I would have a family. Like, I'm married. Actually today is my anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
11 years.
Wow.
So, you know, and I've got a 9-year-old son and an 11-year-old daughter, and I'm living my dream basically, which I never thought I would even have a chance to do. God just took me in a complete different direction, you know. Once I said, all right, God, let's do it your way, you know, and he really revealed himself to me in a huge way, and just changed my life forever, man. And it's like two different lives.
Right.
Like, I look back at that old person, and I can't even imagine myself being that person. So it's cool, man. It's been an amazing journey so far.
I've been thinking about all the mistakes you've seen me make. When I can barely hold on, you promise you won't let me go. And I want you to know I don't live a perfect life, but God knows I'm trying the best I can.
God brought us together and has us out here trying to make a difference in our culture, in our walk, and being an example, and trying to be a husband, and you know, some of us are fathers, and also be role models, and all that entails. It's quite a burden, but you know, God's allowing us to shoulder that, and hopefully we'll be able to make a difference, not only in our own community back home, but you know, nationally. So it's been cool to see how lives have been changed from all that.
Right. Have you seen a change in the way people, the receptiveness of Christian rock?
Absolutely. I mean, it's I mean, you go anywhere in the country now, and especially in the metal world and hardcore and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of just great, passionate, you know, young kids now that are in these bands that are just out there crushing it, you know, and have a heart for God, and you know, back in the day, you know, you'd be you know, people like Stephen Chris Chapman was considered extreme. Stephen Chris Chapman,
Yeah.
Extreme. The music landscape has changed drastically, but thankfully, you know, people that have a purpose and have something to share, you know, about how and what Christ has done in their life through the style of music that they love and that can connect with other people. Socially, it's obviously a lot more accepted than it used to be. We still get a lot of heat from some religious circles that, you know, say that we can't look like this or can't act like that or talk this way or talk that way or sound this way. Our whole focus and understanding is that, you know, God has different soldiers for different battles, and we all have different uniforms for what we wear, for what our job is in what we call the army of Christ. It's not our place to say I don't agree with what they're wearing or what they're doing, as long as they're making an impact and they're being accountable for their actions. It's important to be accountable to each other, but it's also important to be thinking outside the box when it comes to relating to people that are unsaved or just been burned out on what Christianity is.
What we've got here is
Christians.
failure to communicate.
That is what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable.
Our wives play such a huge part in what we do.
They're very much a part of what we do, even as, you know, as big of a part as, you know, half the stuff that we deal out with out here. Because if we don't have that support and don't have that prayer backing and encouragement, not to say it's not, you know, it's not easy. And God's blessed us with women that support us and that are part of our ministry just as much.
It's almost like it was his plan.
Yeah. I wonder how that happened.
Well, I got a question for you guys. What about, is there ever a struggle? You know, you guys are famous. You guys, you know, you're being played on the reeds.
It's really who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
We've
Totally
seen
not
it
that
in
bad.
other bands, and we've seen it in, you know, no matter what profession you're in. You know, if someone comes up and just fills you full of hot air, and it's had a tendency to just float away and be obsolete very shortly. But we have a great team of people around us that say, you don't haven't amounted to anything. You know,
That's good, man.
It's time to work hard. It's time to, you know, if we were out here for the money or the fame or something like that, then we'd all be home by now. Because it's not that important, and it has nothing to do with what our ministry is. And there's nothing that's going to justify me, and I know I can speak for all of us, justify being out here and being gone away from our families and without knowing that we're actually making a difference in people's lives and creating a legacy for what God's called us to do. You know, Decyfer Down, to speak in people's hearts and to hopefully make an impact not only in where they're at spiritually, but, you know, emotionally and even, you know, the decisions that they're making. God's brought us through so much in our lives, and we want to be able to express that through our music, and so it's important to us. That's why we're here.